Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. Gonna hang on for a few minutes to give people a chance to come in. Oh, here's Antonio.
Hi.
I was just saying we're gonna give people a few minutes to keep joining. And I think we're expecting Andrew as well. Oh, while I'm here, let me see. I wanted to activate a Q&A thing. Let's see if it works. Do people see a Q&A activity already enabled? Yeah, maybe it's already on. So does someone want to try asking a question just so I can see how it works? Let me see. Ah, thank you. Thank you, Jen. Yes, it works. And let's see, can we, we can mark as answered. Oh, okay, there's Andrea. Cool, thank you. Okay, so yeah, so as we go, if people have questions, please use the Q&A. Hi, Andrew. I think, let's see. Oh yeah, wow, we have quite a few people. 15 people, and maybe I'll be expecting maybe expecting a few more. So hang on just a couple more minutes.
Antonio, I don't think we've met in a meeting.
I think we didn't. I think it's the first time that we talk. Yeah, first time.
This is one of the things I love about GSoC is that people who've like worked together with or like side by side for years on the internet, suddenly we have a chance to get to meet them. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, oh, numbers of people still joining. Okay. One more minute and then let's get started. Antonio, do you have a guess for how long the demo would take?
Oh, I think we can go maybe in 10 minutes. Should be enough, I would say. Maybe 5-10 minutes should be enough.
Okay, that's pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see this a new question in the Q&A. Let me see. Oh yeah, so we're gonna cover. Thank you for the question, Parth. We're gonna cover all of this in the talk. So yeah, maybe let's go ahead and get started, and people will just keep trickling in. Okay, yes. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for your interest in Google Summer of Code and your interest in participating with Typelevel. So I'm Arman. I'm here with Antonio and Andrew. We're the admins for Typelevel's Google Summer of Code program. We've all been doing it for a few years now. And Antonio actually is an alum of the program too, so he knows it from both sides. So we're very lucky, yeah, to have him as a resource. So let's get started. Okay, so yes, so who is Typelevel? What is Typelevel? So we're a community of people and a bunch of projects and ecosystem projects. And what we're really about is creating a inclusive environment, a welcoming environment, a safe place where we can work together and do functional programming together. And we're going to talk a bit about what functional programming is in a little bit. But basically, we're very interested about how we can use functional programming to work on problems that are relevant to the modern world, relevant in industry, while also getting to experiment with new ideas. And our community culture is really about curiosity and mentoring. Like, I think that's something that's really important to us. Like, we the kinds of things that we do through GSoC, which is like encouraging contributions and working together and teaching. This is just what Typelevel does. And GSoC is one of the ways we get to do that with support from Google. But we always welcome contributions, and we love to mentor people inside and outside of our program. And yes, our community is very dedicated to being inclusive, and we want to provide a positive experience for people of many, many different backgrounds, regardless of where you come from and how you identify. You're welcome here, and it's really important to us that this is a safe space for you. On that note, one of the important tenets of Typelevel's governance is our code of conduct. I've linked to the full thing, and you can access it on our website. But I wanted to go over the main ideas, which is we're a community that is kind, considerate, and respectful. We always try to assume good intentions and a willingness to learn. We try to be grateful and acknowledge the time and effort of our fellow open source peers, our maintainers, our mentors, contributors. And we show empathy because everybody is new and learning sometimes and coming from different backgrounds, and we're all in it together. We all want to help each other. And the way we do these things is by using welcoming and inclusive language. Another really important policy I want to talk about this year is about how we're considering AI. And we've thought a lot about this, a lot of discussions, and obviously AI is changing and growing a lot. But for us, sort of the main ideas are like coming back to showing empathy, and our code of conduct. A really important value for us is respecting the time of the maintainers and the mentors who are involved with Typelevel in our program. And so that means that when we show up with like work, or we want to make a contribution to something, we really show up with like our best work, and we really think about like, the time that we're asking, and we make sure that we're being respectful of maintainers, that we're putting our best foot forward when we ask them to look at some code or some other thing that we've worked on. And then the other thing that's really important to us, especially in the context of GSoC, but I would say broadly for Typelevel, is that really what we're doing here is we're here to learn. Learning is first, delivering is second. So what that means is like when you're working on your project or something, we'd actually rather you take a few days or take a week to try and figure something out and ask us questions, so that when your PR is ready, you really understood what it is, you learned something. Like, that's wonderful. We would prefer that than you use like an AI to generate a solution that works perfectly, but you didn't really understand what it does. We're here to learn, and that is like what you're going to be evaluated on as well. Like, we're here to evaluate you on your learning. It's amazing like when a project comes together in the timeline, but like that's not the most important thing to us. And then we do recognize that AI is part of the toolkit nowadays, and so we don't want to completely ban AI. What we want to do is we want to encourage you to use it thoughtfully, and we want to support you learning how to do that so you can be an effective engineer, both in our open source community and other open source communities, and as you go into the workforce or academia, wherever you go next. So sort of the three main guidelines we ask are that you demonstrate ownership of your code. So no matter how you create code, whether you write it yourself or you use some AI to help with it, demonstrating ownership means understanding it, understanding why that code is relevant for Typelevel, how it works, and being able to explain this if asked. And also creating the tests and doing the work to demonstrate that the code is doing what it's supposed to do. And these things aren't always easy. Like, this is what software engineering is about. And so like, please ask for help with this. Like, this is part of the learning process, really learning to own the code and explain the code. Another thing we ask is, please don't use AI to generate prose, like descriptions for PRs or descriptions for issues, or please don't send us AI emails or use AI for your messages in our Discord server. We're not we're not really looking for polished communication here. What's important to us is that you're organizing your ideas in writing and you are communicating that in your own words. We don't want to be talking to an AI. We want to be talking to you. It doesn't have to be perfect. So please don't use AI for those things. Also, oh yeah, the Google Summer Code proposal. That's another one. Please don't generate your proposal. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to get the main ideas of what your project is going to be. And the very last thing is, when you do use AI, perhaps to help you with some contribution or coding thing, please say that you did so, and even better, explain how you did and where you used it to help guide our review of your work. And yeah, we have a link to this AI policy, and it's also on our GSoC page. So keep going. I do want to check, did people have any questions while we're going? Okay, let's keep going. Oh yeah, so I wanted to talk briefly about like what you should expect from participating in GSoC with Typelevel. I think one of the best things is, because Typelevel has this wonderful culture of mentorship, like we have a really friendly and active Discord community, and they're excited to support you on your journey of learning functional programming and learning to contribute to open source. So like, I think that's like one of the greatest things, like this 24/7 access to a community full of people from all over the world. So there's chances are somebody will be able to answer your questions, you know, pretty quickly, no matter where you are or when you're asking. You can expect weekly pair programming sessions with your mentors on your project. And also we host monthly virtual meetups. And so this is both a chance to meet other developers in our community and maintainers of projects, and also a chance to learn. Each meetup has sort of a different topic, and so it's a chance to learn about different topics related to Typelevel and functional programming. And actually, one of the fun things is always sort of at the end of the summer, we invite our GSoC contributors to give a lightning talk at either a virtual meetup or a Typelevel summit if we're hosting one, something like that. So it's fun to go to the meetups, and then by the end of the summer, you get to present yourself. Just a brief lightning talk, because yeah, it's great to be proud of everything you've accomplished and shared with the community. And overall, we've talked a bit about this, but like what you should expect is we're going to evaluate you for how you learn during GSoC, how you grow, and how you show up in our community. It's not just about how much you accomplished and whether your project is 100% finished as said in the proposal. That's not the most important thing to us. The most important thing is did you learn? Did you go through the process? And were you a kind and collaborative member of our community? And we really care about this because for us, GSoC is just the beginning of what we hope is a longer journey that you're on a pathway towards becoming a long-term contributor, like Antonio, for example, who started I think the GSoC 3 years ago. You're on a path towards a long-term contribution, maybe becoming maintainer of Typelevel libraries, or maybe even a new library you made in your project, and hopefully maybe being a mentor in GSoC yourself one day. So this is sort of our vision. So yes, so we've talked a lot about Typelevel, but what is functional programming? And so I tried to give a brief summary here. Obviously, there's so much to functional programming, but I would say functional programming is this like magical thing that is inspired by mathematics, but you can actually use it and appreciate it without mathematics experience. You don't need deep experience. You don't need to be a math major, math degree. No, it's this really amazing practical tool that is inspired by mathematics that so many people use every day to write great code. And along the way, you will learn some new concepts, mathematical concepts. But sort of for me, I think that's two important ideas. I wouldn't say this is all of functional programming, but I think two important ideas that sort of give you the idea of like what is functional programming about is, one idea is that when you're doing functional programming, data structures are immutable. And what this means is that if you hold some data, if you have some data, you're referencing some data in your program, you know that data is not going to change. And then the other important idea is that functions are something called pure. And what this really means is that when you write a function, it takes some input and will produce some output. And the idea is that whenever you put the same input in, you always get the same output out, nothing more, nothing less. There's nothing else going on. And so these two simple ideas, if you sort of put them together and you like pull the thread, you're like, okay, like what if we build whole software systems based on these two ideas? You get this like magical code that is like composable and easy to reason about because of these rules. And there's lots of like amazingly large systems that are performant and have been maintained for like many years or decades that are based on these principles in type level libraries. So it's a really great way to write code that lasts a long time and can be developed and maintained safely. But also functional programming is sort of a new and exciting way of thinking that will really help you grow as a developer. So even if you don't end up working on a functional code base, the ideas you take away from here will end up helping you so much wherever you go. And I wanted to recommend a couple books for people who want to get started and dive in. One of them is, if you're kind of new to Scala, there's a great book by Dave Grinnell and Noel Welsh. Noel is one of the mentors in our program this year, Creative Scala, and it's a fun way to get introduced to the Scala programming language. And then if you're a little bit more familiar with Scala and you want to dig more into the functional programming, we have this wonderful book called The Red Book by several authors who are also involved with the FS2 library of Typelevel. And Michael Pilquist recently revised the second edition of the book, and very recommended. It's like, this is like a textbook on functional programming, and it really talks you through sort of the beginning steps towards how do we get the libraries that we have today. Like the FS2 libraries inspired from this book. It didn't exist until the book was written, and then it's like, oh, we can actually take these teaching principles and turn it into an important library that is now used by so many big companies for data streaming and video and things like that. So yes, highly recommend these books. Okay. Oh yes, and I really like this quote from Daniel, who's one of the CATSFX maintainers, which is, we're really at the cutting edge of some incredibly bizarre stuff, because yeah, there's just so much cool stuff to work on, and because we have this sort of taste for experimentation, we are at the cutting edge. Typelevel is pushing the boundaries of like what's possible with functional programming, and also what's possible with like performance and networking and all these other fields where it's all very integrated. So to sort of give an idea for them, this is sort of an overview of like, I tried to put in as many keywords as I could. I'm sure I forgot some stuff. Like Typelevel projects really encompass a lot of different things. Like we talked about like streaming and like networking. We talked about data structures, but there's also things related to like numerics, parsers, different kinds of algorithms. There's things about graphics. A lot of code in our stuff is actually relating to like operating systems instead of these lower level like networking things. And there's just so many, our projects encompass so many different fields of computer science, and there's a lot of different areas you could go in depending on what you're interested in. And so we put forward some project ideas, but like also we're really open to hearing from you about what you're interested in and sort of helping to craft a project that you might be interested in. So I wanted to actually talk about previous GSoC projects that we had. Antonio's project, I put that first, was creating a new networking layer for the Typelevel stack using a Linux API called IOU-ring, which was designed for high performance. So like, this is an example of something that's like, it's a project that sort of like bridges the gap from like, functional programming to like performance and like hardware. It's very cool. But then so many other projects, too many to really go over in detail here, but like some projects were like looking at like networking, like whether it's like, creating a WebSocket client, which is some sort of protocol, or implementing other, ways of working with the operating system to send data over a network. Or like serverless. There was a Google Functions integration project. We had a really cool project last year this was actually one of the project ideas that was proposed by a contributor. It was not our idea originally, which is implementing a machine learning runtime for the Typelevel stack. We've had search, We had a scripting library, like, yeah, some projects about like creating better APIs for doing things. So like scripting with Typelevel or doing something telemetry. So yeah, lots of different ideas. And yeah, we're very open to hearing ideas from you and what you're interested and curious to work on. So yes, I think with that, I'm ready to hand over to Antonia, who'll talk about the sort of getting started, first contribution we'll do. But I want to pause for a second to make sure if there's any questions, or if Antonio wants to, or Andrew want to add anything. Yeah, I see a bunch of questions have come in. Let's maybe go over them at the end. So yeah, unless Antonio, Andrew, do you want to add anything?
No, I think that's a good overview and summary. Yeah.
Okay, so we go through the contributor repository.
Yes.
Share the screen. 1 second.
So while Antonio's getting this set up, what we've done this year is we've created sort of a specific like first contribution experience. We've set up an onboarding repository where you can make your first contribution. Yeah, I'll leave it to you, Antonio.
Yeah, so basically we have been working on this repository. The idea is that you can actually take a look at how we code in Typelevel using some of the main libraries. Here, this application that we have built is actually been made with Calico. That is a sort of framework or library that has been made by Arman, and is actually built on Scala.js. And we're going to show you this in a moment, and we are going to go through what we wanted you to do to start onboarding on the Typelevel ecosystem. And yeah, so here, 1 second. Here we have some information that maybe it's interesting for you. You have here the link to the Google Summer of Code, the program of Google, if you want to have more information, or if you are interested in learning how it works, and also to check other programs, last year programs or other information. We also have here the Typelevel ideas that we have for this year. And as Arman said before, these are just some ideas. If you want to propose anything, or you are interested in some topic, you can just propose and talk to us. Also, some of these ideas, if you read some of these ideas, there are a lot of, it might be a little bit complicated for you if it's the first time that you are working, for example, with network. So please talk to us if there's something that is not clear, or if you're interested in some of the topics, so we can maybe help you a little bit more on understanding the project. So these are the two main points on the onboarding. And the application is built with Calico, and is actually framework in Scala.js, and it's built on top of Cats Effect and FS2, two of the main libraries in Typelevel. And before jumping into the code, here we have a list of steps that you probably should go through. First of all, you have to set up the environment. We recommend you to use Java 21. At least you need Java 18 for this project. You also need SVT and metals. I don't know if you, Arman, want maybe to talk more about any of these tools.
I think also you should show what we're talking about, since we're talking about. Click the link for the live.
Yeah, the live
demo. Yeah. So we can show people what we're talking about.
Okay. So this is actually once you compile the project, this is what you are going to get. You have here this website where you have different components. So here you have the different contributors of this project. If I click in one of them, you'll see a component that I developed using Calico. So here's the component. Is a simple text saying that I accept to follow the code of conduct and the GSoC AI policy. And here I have a button, and if you click, you can actually see that my favorite color is green. Here you have, for example, Arman component. So if you click, you can see some text that show that his favorite programming language is Scala. So this is actually the idea of the project, that we want you to develop a component, and then there's this button, check order, where we're going to explain this maybe a little bit later. But this is actually a demo that you can check is actually live, and you can see what this application or this code does. Don't know if something to add here, Arman.
Yeah,
Maybe
no,
just
that's great.
a little,
Mhm.
just the high level idea here is to give folks
Mhm.
something to do to sort of help onboard them with like the tools that are frequently used in the Scala ecosystem. And I think participating in this is like a good way to sort of make sure that you've kind of got everything that you would reasonably need set up and working to work on a Google Summer of Code project in Typelevel.
Yeah. As we have been saying before, to run this project, you actually need to install Java, SVT, and methods. Then you will probably need to run the application locally, and to do that, we have here a small example of how to do it, and I can actually show you this in code. So here I'm in the, can you see my screen? Can you see the code?
Yes, it works. Perfect.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so here's the project. You're going to find these files. So we have a main contributor and validation files. Probably these three, you don't have to do anything with them. And then we have the contributors list. So these are the components that we are going to be modifying and that we want you to play with. But to show you how to run the code, let me show you the following. You have to, once you have installed SVT, you can run it in the root of your project. There you go. And once you are here, you can start the server using this command, that is this one serve, and then we can compile the Scala code into JavaScript using this one, fast link JavaScript, and this is going to compile our code automatically. So now the application is running in this port, so I can go here and open it. So we can see that this is actually my Scala code that I have locally. And we have the same thing as we have in the live version. Okay, and here we have the different component as we have shown before. So for example, this component, the component of, for example, Arman, right here, correspond to this code that is here, right here, the contributor Arman Bilge. So this is the code. And you can see that Arman is a contributor. A contributor is basically a class that contains a handle and a component. I don't know if I should go too much into details, but basically this page corresponds to this component of Arman correspond to this code right here. And the idea that we had is that we want you to play with a component. We want you to make a component, and we want you to play with it, to be creative as you can. We have just made a couple of buttons and just display a message, but you can be as creative as you want and try to do something cool and try to do something cool. So here is the component that we want you to play with. Here we have the list of contributors. So these are basically all the components that we have on the site. And to give you an example, we can actually make one component ourselves and show you what we want you to do. So let me add one new contributor. So yes,
We can make one. We can make one for Toolkitty.
Okay. Let me add a new file. Let's call this student one, for example. And maybe we can take the one for Arman right here. We have a new component. We can maybe call it the student one right here. We can change a couple of things. So I made this component, and now I can add it to the list. So I can go here and add student one. If I save the file and the code is going to compile automatically, it should be here on the list. 1 second. It's not here.
Try a hard refresh.
Uh,
I think it's like Command Shift R, or I don't know. In case it's caching the JavaScript.
yeah, might be that, yeah. Okay, now it's here. Yeah, it was actually the cache, yeah. So now, so now we have the student right here, and as you can see, it's actually doing the same thing as Arman because the code is basically the same. So here we have the button, and if I click, it's going to say that his favorite programming language is Scala. And now the second step of this project, of this idea, once you have developed your component, is to play with this button and to check the order. So if I click here, it's going to say that the student, so the last component, is not in the right position. And now the thing that we want to do here is to find our position. Like student one was added at the end of the list, and we are seeing here that it's actually not in the right position. It's saying that it should be before Daniel. And now the idea is that we have to play with this to find our position. Maybe Arman can explain more details of why we are doing this and the reason for this. But the idea would be to play with this. Maybe I can change the student and maybe place it here before Daniel and see what happens now. If I go here, now the student is before Daniel. And if I check the order, it's going to say that it's still not in the right position. So it should be before this other contributor. So maybe I can move it again and try to see if now it's in the right place. Still not, should be before Arman. So let's change this once again.
So while you're doing that, I'll say, I know this seems like busy work. Basically, part of this is encouraging you to actually run the web app locally, to install you got on the right place. To install the tooling, also run it, not just copy paste my thing and submit a PR with that. But we really want you to actually download the tools and play with it and make sure you have your whole environment going. That's part of it. And then we don't want to make busy work. I know it seems like, I have to check where my name goes one by one. But actually, if you're familiar with binary search, you can do this step pretty quickly by, instead of moving just one at a time, you can start with your name in the middle, see whether it says to go up or down, and then keep going from there. Just each time try and divide the list into half. Yeah. So we don't want to make busy work for you, but we want to encourage you to install the tooling, set up your IDE, run the development server, and hopefully make something, make something creative, like whether it's you're gonna tell us about your pets or colors, or I don't know. I think, you should show like the bot ones I did. It's so silly, like the OctoCAD or the Scala Studio Typelevel bot. Yeah, it's so silly. It just go beep boop beep boop beep boop. So just entertain us with something. And yeah, the other thing is, like, please take a moment to, when you're working on this, to review the Typelevel code of conduct and the AI policy, and just add a short message saying, yes, I agree to follow these things. And yeah, thank you to Antonio. Antonio did a lot of the work of setting this up. So yeah, thanks to him for doing that. And thanks, that was a great introduction.
Thank you. Yeah,
Andrew, anything? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. So basically, all the things that we have done here, so this project and what we are expecting you to do is basically explain on the README. So if you go through here, you will
Mm.
find all the ideas that we have went through, also explain the order and everything that you need to run the project, and yeah, to be creative and try to do something cool in your component. And an example of what we are expecting in this component. So everything is actually on the README.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, this is you should consider this to be the first step. Like if you want to work on a PR issue somewhere else and you haven't done this yet, we'll probably ask you to go do this first before assigning anything to you. So yeah, so consider this sort of the first step to continuing with your application and contribution to Typelevel. And oh yeah, if you have questions, we're going to do a Q&A in a few minutes, but we also have our Discord server. I also started the discussions. There's a discussions tab on the GitHub. You can show that, Antonio. If you scroll up. Yeah, there's a discussions. Oops, it's at the very top. Yeah, there's a discussion, so you can also ask questions there. And, you know, feel free to help each other out as well. If someone asks a question and you know the answer, yeah, feel free to chime in. Same thing on our Discord. We have a Summer of Code channel. You can ask there. And oh, and I think there's some links to some documentation at the bottom that can help you get inspired. Actually, if you want, Antonio, you can pull up the link to the Calico documentation, which I know is at the bottom of the README. And you can show there's a bunch of demos in the Calico documentation too. Yeah, if you like even go to like, I think there's even like the hello world or the counter or something. Basically, there's a bunch of demos in the Calico documentation itself. So you can take inspiration from those. Yeah, like there's this sheep counting one where you can count sheep in like steps of 5, or yeah, you can even count down. So yeah, look at the documentation, see if something here inspires you. You can use that. Oh yeah, there's so many fun things. There's like stuff that uses like time, like you can have things like with delays or some sort of counter randomness. Yeah, you can. There's so many opportunities. Oh my god, if you really want to, like, you can even call an API or something to get some data from some server. So yeah, feel free to have fun with that. I think that's Andrew. If there's anything you think, since you've been listening, anything you think we should add about this?
No, I don't think so. I think this is good. Yeah, feel free to be creative on your sort of your own, I guess, what are we calling that? Like your component, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, and hopefully this kind of gives you like a good walkthrough of like, you'll be sure then that you've got like Git and GitHub set up, the Scala tooling, and you'll get like a hands-on experience with a library that ties together a bunch of Typelevel libraries as well. So.
All right. With that, thank you, Antonio. And yeah, we can transition into Q&A. I see there's a bunch of questions queued up, and we'll see. So one from, oh yeah, so it's asking, it was asking what do we recommend? How do we recommend getting started with? Yeah, so this is how we recommend getting started. Like this project uses Cat's effect and all these things. So this is how you get started using them. This is how you install the tooling. The documentation has some examples. Let's see, from Rahul. Yes. Yeah, welcome. We do functional programming, and yeah, some of our projects are related to backend. So like the projects related to I would say like almost everything. Sort of front end projects are more of the niche right now. But like Cat's effect, FS2, all backend things. HTTP4S is a backend thing. Freeroll, which is like a serverless project, is a backend thing. Let's see. From Parth. Oh yeah, so yeah, there's a question about AI. Sort of what we talked about, like what we really care about is do you understand the code? Like, is it good code? Do you understand it? Can you explain it? Is it maintainable? Whether or not AI wrote it or not, in the end, is not the most important thing. What matters is did you do a good job putting it together, possibly using AI as a tool? Yeah, so that's what we're looking for. Oh yeah, by the way, Andrew and Anton, feel free to chime in anything if you want. Let's see. Oh yeah, someone asked about a proposal template. I can actually put it in the chat. There's a Google Summer of Code has its own proposal template. I think I linked it in our Discord too recently. Oh yeah, here's a proposal example. So I'll just put that in the chat quickly here. So yeah, we don't have any specific requirements for the proposal really. We just ask that you sort of follow the Google guidelines and you work with your mentor. Like, don't send us a proposal out of the blue. You know, you can start drafting a proposal, send it to the proposed mentor for the project, talk with them about it. Yeah, but yes, you can use, I think there's at least 1 or 2 examples from Google. Yeah, and the main idea of the proposal is to basically explain what is the goal of the project, what is the main ideas for, like, what are the steps, main big steps to like accomplish it, and then trying to break it down into a timeline. And the timeline is like, we're not super strict. Like, we understand that sometimes things take longer than we expect, or sometimes things maybe move faster and things. The timeline is to just really demonstrate that we've thought about it, like what are the different parts of the project, how are we breaking it down into steps, what are the different milestones, about how long do we think it will take. But yeah, it's not a hard timeline. It's a guideline. The timeline you'll put in your proposal as a guideline for what you want to do. Oh yeah, there's a question about Leica and like getting started. So yes, it sounds like there's no existing good first issues for Leica, but I think Andrew and I can fix that. So something that we did recently was we rebuilt the Typelevel website with Leica. This is something Andrew and I were working on, which was really fun. And also, yeah, I have a backlog of things I actually need to like open as sort of good first issues on Leica. So yeah, we can come up with some good first issues for you. Oh, another thing I might add is for that particular project, there's also some good first issues on the Typelevel repository itself, because sort of the project idea is to not only improve Leica, but to sort of improve Leica in ways that will hopefully make it easier for us to develop Typelevel's own website. Like, for example, right now we have like an issue open about our 404 pages are broken, which is embarrassing. So there's plenty to work on there. Andrew, I don't know if there's anything you want to add.
I didn't know the 404 pages were broken.
Okay.
That's a good first issue for sure.
Yeah. Someone asked, oh, sorry, did you have more to
No, just that, yeah, if there aren't necessarily, if you've kind of gone through the onboarding and you've maybe been like working on your proposal and you're still looking for stuff to do, and there aren't good first issues, yeah, definitely feel free to reach out in the Discord and ask for them. It is often the case that there's like some issues that people know about, but like haven't created an issue for yet. Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, someone asked, can we start contributing just after the meeting ends? Yes, you can get started with that onboarding repository. Did we put a link to it in the chat? Antonio, can you do that while I go to the next question? So yeah, please, yeah, get started. Okay, good. Is GSoC open to only students or other open source incoming? Yeah, so GSoC, so this is sort of a GSoC rule. So you should check what the official guidelines are. But like historically, it's been GSoC is not just open to students, it's open to anyone who's sort of new to open source or sort of earlier in their career. That's the main idea. The other sort of ask that we make in Typelevel is that you do sort of have sufficient free time during your summer to actually work on GSoC. We found it challenging to like balance a full-time job while also doing GSoC. So I think the most important thing for us is like is following the Google guidelines, which is that you're sort of new to open source or early in your career, and then also that you have time to actually work on it over the summer. Let's see. Oh yeah. So this question about Creative Scala coming on the Typelevel. Will the contributions made to Creative Scala be held in accounts work significantly into? Yes. So absolutely. Like ultimately, sort of the important person is who the mentor for a project. So when you're crafting your proposal, you'll have a mentor in mind, and you should be corresponding with that mentor about the project, and that's who will be making the recommendation about your proposal and things like that. So sort of the decision is coming from the mentor for the project, and so yeah. Early in career, approximately what? I don't know. There's no hard and fast guidelines. Just yeah, if you feel early in career, like, or early new to open source, like, yeah, this is a good fit for you. Any other questions? I think we may have sort of exhausted everything. Okay, well, I will like ramble for 1 minute in case anyone has a final question. But yes, thank you everyone for joining. This was really cool. We look forward to meeting you and interacting with you on GitHub and Discord. Yeah, we're excited. We are very excited about these projects. Oh, maybe one more question came through. Yeah, what's the other basis for acceptance after submitting a proposal? Yeah, it's your proposal is important, and also how you've sort of shown up in the community so far, what contributions you made, and again, like, less so about like, oh, like this contribution made such an advanced algorithm, or like, oh, this contribution solved the whole project in one. No. It's did you work with us? You know, did you go through the process? You know, were you respectful? So it's how you're showing up in the community. Yeah. Can we DM you guys personally? I try and encourage, like, we try and encourage discussion to happen in the open channels, like the Summer of Code channel and things. Truthfully, our DMs are getting bombarded right now because lots of people are DMing us, and it's very hard to keep track. The best thing is to ask questions in the open channels, because not only the three of us can see it, but actually everyone on the Typelevel Discord can see your questions. And so they will be able to chime in and help you, especially when we're not available, and maybe honestly somebody else has something more helpful to say about it anyway. So yeah, the best thing, what we encourage, is to ask questions in the open, both for this particular process and also because that's how open source development like best happens, out in the open, where everyone can sort of contribute to the discussion. Honestly, that's how I learned a lot. Like, I got involved in Typelevel because I joined in the Discord, and I was able to like see all the development discussions and ask questions, and so that's sort of the culture we want to have. I have a question about combining SBT, like an SBT Typelevel in a project. Yes, I'm thinking of something like a support blog integrated to. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely, that seems like an interesting project. We already have I see you've already mentioned SBT Typelevel site. So yeah, we do already have some integration, and I think there would be people interested in more of an integration, maybe. I don't know. We can definitely discuss that project idea. Another question. What do I need to do to communities to get my PR wedge? Yeah, I mean, if you've gone through the onboarding, at least start with that. And yeah, sometimes we get a bit backlogged with PR reviews, but we do try and get to things. And yeah, it's not about convincing us.
I'll maybe add a tidbit here. This is something I say at work to anyone new who joins, like with our interns or new full-time employees. Like, the fastest way to ship a PR or to ship new code is to optimize for your peers understanding what the heck you've done. This is another reason why I think it's important not to use like AI for writing your PR descriptions and issues, because you really want to take that time to make sure that you can, kind of convey what you've changed here, why you're changing this, how people are going to sort of see this change or something like that. Yeah, if you can convince reviewers that what you've done is like reasonable and like fixes the thing you were doing and stuff like that, like that's by far the fastest way to get things merged and shipped.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Someone's asking about contributing to Firo? Yeah, so I mean, like with any project, like start with the onboarding repository that we've set up, and then Firo, I know, has like a long list of good first issues. It's contributing AWS like event trigger type. So I would look at that, and yes, working on one of those issues and making a PR is just a great way for us to get to know you and for you to get familiar with the process, and that will make you a stronger candidate. Yeah, and I really like this question, like, yeah, about being new to functional programming, and yeah, there's a lot of people that actually a lot of people in our community have spent time teaching and training people that started with Java and object-oriented background. That's where I started. Java was the language I knew really well, object-oriented programming before I came to. And we have projects at different levels. And also, if there's a project that gets your interest, there's a topic you're interested in, we can try and adjust the level to craft a project that sort of fits where you are in your journey. But I think it's very possible to come from sort of a Java object-oriented programming background and get started with sort of functional programming. Scala is this fun language that's a mix of functional and object-oriented programming anyway. So some of that experience will actually carry over. Yeah, so definitely very doable. How much peers are too much in an org to get selected for a project in GSoC? How much peers are too much? Something I would say is that opening lots of PRs while you still have a PR pending is too much for it. We get overwhelmed. One PR at a time, one issue at a time. That's hopefully that answers the question. We have a compliment for Andrew. Look like a Marvel character. Hopefully a compliment. Actually, I don't know enough about the franchise. Okay, maybe that's a good note to be ending on. Yes, thanks everyone for being here. Thank you, Jen. Jen is saying thank you for the wonderful presentation. Good job, yeah, all of us. Yeah, thank you very much. Chat with us in Discord or reach out on the discussions or over email. We're happy to hear from you. We're excited to work with you. And yeah, we'll be hosting another one of these next week. So we can do another round of Q&A and help people with anything. All right, take care, everyone. Thank you for joining us. See you later. Stop. Stop.